Aloha, aloha, aloha. It's me, Hamwise, the pig detective, coming at you live and on arrival, on tour. That's right, we're going on tour this week, and so I'm here, about to do my show. So I'm doing my pre-show warm-up. That's what all these are, in case you haven't figured it out. So I travel around in my big pig-mobile from town to town doing comedy at dive bars. And occasionally I stop around my home, my beloved land of the free, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I get to go back to Tanda Studios, where it all began. That's right, folks. Tanda Studios. Oh, yes. And this is not sponsored by them at all. Hi-yo. And got a lot of great jokes, so got a lot of great jokes today. Gonna make you laugh, maybe save your soul, maybe give you a belly roll. Hi-yo, that's me, Hamwise, pig detective. I'm a pig man with a pig brain, and I see the world through my piggy eyes. That's right, folks. And if you take anything I say seriously, you might be on my most wanted list. Most wanted for being a dummy. Hi-yo, that's me, Hamwise, pig detective. And I'm going to be eating a bag of carrots. Well, I do this show because I forgot to eat today. And it's like 4. So here I go. So we'll be telling jokes, eating carrots. Maybe I should be a rabbit detective from all the carrots I eat, huh? Am I right, folks? I could be like, what's his name? Nutty Rabbit. Right? Crazy Hair. No, I'm getting it wrong. Bugs Bunny. Hi-oh. Just kidding. This show has nothing to do with Warner Brothers. I'm always not too sure about the whole satire thing. So that's why I always got to put in those disclaimers. Just like this is a fictional fantasy show. None of this is real. Don't take me seriously. I don't take me seriously. Hopefully, me breaking character, is enough for you guys, you schmucks. That actually get it, don't get it, this is a comedy show. It's entertainment. It's not real. In the same way that if you're delivering pizza and the woman doesn't have money, she's not going to sleep with you for a $5 pizza, So get it out of your head that there's a galactic invasion of spiritual entities possessing people's bodies, and if you've had contact with a alien entity, you are somehow isolated from the rest of the world and live in a government village, and you're not allowed to leave the country, and you're not allowed to talk to foreigners. That's utterly ridiculous. Come on. There's nothing odd about the world. There's nothing hidden. Everything is as it seems. And, you just have to accept that there's no magic or love in the world, only pain. Oh, wow, that's a big burp. Burp, burp, burp. Sorry, after the last one, I got a ton of comments and emails, and a lot of dummies out there. A lot of dummies. I was worried I was going to get a door knock from some dummy cop that would be like, hey, this is real. Yeah, that's right. It's called comedy, people. So, try to take a joke. If you can't, how does it go? If you can't joke 'em, F 'em, and if you can't F 'em, joke 'em. It's a story of my life and my wife. Take my wife, for example. Please, no, take her. I don't understand her. She doesn't make any sense to me. No, but seriously, she doesn't. One day she's angry, the next day she's happy, and I'm always like, baby, you're killing me. Put down the stop. You're choking me with the belt. Gets me off. Oh, that was a bad one. I normally don't make too many of those kind of, schmeckle jokes. I try not to. Not too many. But sometimes they're pretty funny. So I hope that it didn't offend you, any of those who are listening. And I think that's the thing. It's making people laugh. Making people laugh when you've gone through pain is one of the best things you can do. Because, you're taking badness and you're making it into goodness. And I mean, I think maybe that's the biggest thing about me being a pig man, I never had a chance growing up. Let me tell you. When I was little, I had a little bunny rabbit. I loved them very much. And one day, the parents said, the Germans are coming over for dinner, so we got to have Hassenpfeffer. And I said, sure, that sounds great. What's Hassenpfeffer? And so we had to go out and kill little poor bunny. Oh! And, I make a joke about it, but that actually happened. And, I mean, I think about some of my friends' kids, and, they're 8 years old, and being told you have to kill and eat your pet rabbit that was your pet the day before. That's kind of weird, And some people say, hey, Hamwise, it sounds like you're just trauma dumping during a comedy show. And I'm like, hey, look at Rodney Dangerfield. It worked for him. Am I right, folks? Waka waka. But I get no respect around here. Am I right, folks? Tip your waitress. Try the Borscht. I'm here all night. No, seriously, I'm here all night. I can't go anywhere. They don't let me out. I want to go home. I miss my family and my friends. I miss them so much. I've been up in this gulag for 7 years, and I've never had any really visitors, none of my friends ever came up and saw me, and it's the road only goes south. They tell you that when you go up, the road only goes south, but you never realize it. Anybody here from up north? Way north Canada, though. North Canada, because there's Canada along the border. Most people, it's just American cities along the border. Like I say, Canada isn't real, until you've gone north of what do you call it? The line that goes where the Hudson's Bay's bunny ear is. You know how Hudson Bay looks like a upside down bunny? Yeah, it's like that line. Anything above that, below that is just America, and everything above that is actual Canada. So, that's real Canada. That's where I'm in, And man, it sucks up here. Who here knows how bad it gets? Cold, really cold. I never felt like a real Canadian until after I had actually moved far north, because I always lived, an hour from the border. And then it was hold on, I move up, and they're I'm like, hey, when it gets warm out, we can all go to the park and play Frisbee, because that's what we would do. I lived down south, the Lethbridge way. And my colleagues were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, in a few weeks when it gets warm and all the snow melts. So the snow's going to stay on the ground till the fall, or not the fall, the spring. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's not going to, it doesn't get super warm for weeks at a time, and all the snow melts and you go outside again, and then you get a dump of snow and you have to shovel it for 2 days and that's gone. And no, it just piles up and gets colder and colder and colder. And then it gets so cold that cars stop working, and my door handle on my car broke off because it was minus 60 or whatever. And I'm hyperbole. Sorry, it was only minus 50 with the wind chill. So, it was quite cold. And the little cord to plug it in snapped off. And I was like, so it just gets colder. And they're like, yes, but it's already cold. It's already minus 20. And they're like, yes, but that's not very cold yet. This is a mild winter so far. And I'm like, oh. And so, yeah, that's when I realized I was actually in Canada. Everybody else doesn't live in Canada. Toronto, that's not Canada. It's just a suburb of New York. And I know a lot of Torontonians will feel overjoyed that they feel so important. They're part of New York, the megapolis of the East Coast. But frontier poor in Midwest Alberta and Saskatchewan it is different. It is a very different country, you know, and lots of people, like majority of the country doesn't live out where I am. It's like podunk, dirt poor, violent, like very violent. Like, you know, I was getting wings at a bar a few years ago for my birthday, and I got some wings, so I was going to go wash my hands because I might be a pig, but I still wash my hands. And a guy picks a fight with me in the bathroom, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing in here? Not taking a piss?" I'm like, "No, I just came in to wash my hands." And he says, you just better watch out. I'm like, "Well, I'm going to wash out." And he's like, "No, don't be funny with me, man." And I'm like, "I can't help it. I'm a pig man." And he did not like that. So anyways, he's leaning over me. His buddy's leaning over me. And I'm like, "Geez, is this like the, circle jerk corner? Is that what you guys want? You know, like I'm going to join you?" And yeah, they were pissed that I just came in there to wash my hands. It was bizarre. But my life is full of stuff like that. It's like whenever I go in public, I get harassed. Somebody makes fun of me because I'm a pig man, and I get it. I'm a pig man. I look like a giant pig. I have a cartoon voice and a hat, and I walk around talking like this. You know, this is not a bit. I think I had a stroke or something, and now I'm not the same. The pandemic did something to me. I was alone for 9 months, and I haven't been the same since. But I'm trying to put myself back together again. But Humpty Dumpty is pretty broken. You know, like anybody else was like that during the pandemic? They had to do it alone. You know, I wonder what it would have been like to have had somebody around me, you know, instead of just dealing with it all alone. You know, it was really hard, terrible hard. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was going bonkers some days. So I talked to myself in my plant. I had a really nice plant. I had water. I got a peace lily. I got an aloe plant. I never had plants before, though. That was the thing. It was the strangest dang thing. I guess it's like, you know, you lock somebody up for 9 months with just themselves for company. And they have to find your own entertainment. So I started writing jokes to cheer myself up, and that's why I came up with Hamwise. I started recording these little tapes, and that was the way it went. And so now, you know, the pandemic's over for everybody, but it's not over for me for some reason. I feel like it's, you know, I'm not the same person. And it's a comedy show, but I think one of the big things with comedy these days is you got to make it really soulful, and you got to make it really convincing and really all about mental health and what have you. But honestly, I'm just really messed up from the pandemic still, and I'm hoping to make enough money to move away from everybody and not have to be around them anymore, because it's weird. You get this weird paradox. Anybody else like that, where you're lonely, but you can't stand being around people? And, you know, like noise, like any noise, you know, like you're super sensitive to noise. You can't stand, you know, like the change of environment is hard. I have to move probably. They're raising my rent by $200. $200, they said. I'm like, geez, in this economy, that's a lot of money, especially for rural nowhere, middle of nowhere rent. You know, like I'm not living in Calgary or some nice place. I'm living in a town you'd never heard of, and it's like, hey, vey. But what do I expect? I'm a pig man. My whole life's been hard and been crapped on, so it's not going to start changing now. You know, and I mean, you know what? I'm ugly and they hate me for it. I get it. You know, I wouldn't be nice to me if I met me. I look like a pig man. Like literally. Like I've got this snoutish nose and this bushy, bristly hair goes off of me like a boar's hair. And you can't see it, but I'm a very ugly man, you know. And, you know, in Canada, you know, I do terrible with the ladies, you know. Gosh, I got stood up the other day. Anybody get stood up? Oh, geez, it sucked, you know. Because this lady, I'd been seeing her for probably about 2 months. And this is the thing, never dump a comedian in a bad way, because you're going to be in the comedy show. And you're going to get made fun of. So this one's for you, toots. Anyways, we see each other every Friday because she lives out of town. She can only see me on her lunch break. So she says, And so every week we go out and we hang out for her lunch break, and I say allons-y, and I see her the next week. So we make plans. I go out to the park and wait for her by the flagpole like I always do. And does she show up? And a minute goes by, and 5, and then 10, and then 20, and then 30, and then I'm like, hey, that's why I text her. I'm like, hey, where you at, Toots? And she's like, oh, I completely forgot. And, my memory, my brain is onion dip ever since the pandemic. Let me tell you, it's bad. It's bad. It's not great. But it's enough to get by. But it's kind of like, when you've got, when your car doesn't have, the radio's broken, it's kind of like that. Like, it still runs, but, you're just missing out on a lot of stuff. And so I miss a lot of stuff. I'm pretty stupid, too. Pigman and all. Anyways, so what does she do? She doesn't show up. And so I wait, and then I try to see her the next time, and it just basically, ghosts me and don't see her again and talk to her again. It was 2 months. 2 months. Jeez. And I mean, for me, you keep getting older and you get less time at the bath, and you get uglier and uglier, and, it's just, you can't keep up with the young bucks. And everybody your age is, paired up, and there's children and wives and lives and all that other stuff. And you're just suddenly like on the wrong side of 30, and you're looking around and you realize that, that's it. You missed it. You really missed it, and you screwed up. And now you just get to be alone for the rest of your life. And that sometimes it hurts, being like, geez, I guess this is it. I have a mattress on the floor, and a bowl of carrots and a Mountain Dew. Cheers. And I make comedy tapes making fun of myself, because I don't even have people to do that. And I mean, here's the thing. I make fun of myself because, what are you going to do? Are you going to be harsher than me? I doubt it. You're not funny. Damn right I'm not. Oh, sorry, I effed. You're right, I'm not funny. It's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be entertainment. And I'm not going to make any money off this either, am I? Because nothing seems to go according to my way. I don't seem to have any luck, except for bad luck. Oh, let me tell you, But the thing is, I'm spiritual, though. I'm a very spiritual pig, I know that might not be kosher for some of you. I know I'm not kosher for all of you. I'm a pig, right? So, ham. I'm a large ham. Anybody order a large ham? Hi-yo. Get it? No? Never mind. But, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is you gotta, when you die, I think how it goes is everybody you were ever kind to, everybody you ever loved, everybody you were good to, everybody you did a random act for kindness to, they're on your right side. And everybody you were cruel to, every girl you broke their heart, or every guy you broke their heart, everybody you broke the heart of, or nasty to, they're on your left. And everything you made is beautiful as a step in front of you, and everything that you destroyed is ashes in your mouth, and you have to walk. You have to climb the mountain of heaven up to see your maker, your creator, and you have to look him in the eye. And if you can point, and if you can kind of say, after looking at everybody that you passed, that you did more good as you climb that mountain than bad, and you feel that you did good, and the Lord can look you in the eye, and you speak the truth, then, you're all right. And if not, they send you back down the mountain, and you got to do it all over again. So that's the thing. For me, I'm a pig man. Obviously, I have not lived the way that God intended. And, I'm just spending the rest of my life trying to make up for being an idiot, being stupid, having autism, not getting anything, and just parroting things I say, and having people just lead me around, lead me by the nose, lie to me, and tell me, oh yes, and if you just do this, you're going to get what you want, and if you just do this, if you just wait a bit longer, somebody's going to fall in love with you. And it's just always just lies. Well-intentioned lies, but lies all the same. No matter how tender, no matter how well-meaning, a lie is always a lie, and it grates against reality. And so, when you just speak the truth. But the thing is, sometimes you're not allowed to speak the truth. And if you speak the truth, they shove needles in you and they put you in a psych ward again. And so you're not allowed to. So you just learn to tell the truth by lying. And that's what my art is. It's the only way I can express what is going on, has happened, will happen. And I know none of you are going to make sense of this. And it's kind of like the curse of Cassandra. The Cassandra pig. Hi-oh. Get it? Cassandra curse, huh? No, it won't make sense for another 20 years probably. But that's okay, because I'll tell you what. Sometimes life's okay. Sometimes you have the strawberries, Like, you remember that movie Seventh Seal? Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, everybody say that one. That was a good one. So you got death, right? And he's chasing after this knight and his squire, and he's trying to kill them all because he's death, and it's the Black Plague, and the knight is going to die. But the thing is, he makes a deal with death. He says, hey, I'm going to play chess with you every day before night, and, when you win, you can take me, but before then, you don't. And so death is like, oh, I like a game, so sure, why not? And so each day, the knight goes and travels with his companions, trying to get back home from the crusade. And each night, before he goes to bed, he has to play a game of chess with death. And so at the end, though, of course, spoiler alert, for a 50-year-old film, death wins. But the thing is, he tricks death. Death thinks that he gets everybody, but he tricks him. And I'm not going to tell you how, but it's very clever and it's very beautiful. And there is some beautiful moments in the film, too. There's these moments. It's a very grim and dark and moody existential film. But if you enjoy it, there's a lot of really great moments in it, And it's a very meaningful film for me. I love it. I think it's great. Of course, coming home is harder than you'd imagine. So, anybody else go away somewhere and come back and you're not the same? Or go through something and you're not the same anymore? I know I'm not. That's why it's hard for me to go home and see people I know, because I know I'm not the same anymore. I know I went nuts during the pandemic, but I'm not like chewing on the scenery nuts. I'm not like gnawing a hole in my wall. I'm a danger to myself and others. I just know that whatever snapped when I was alone for so long, I haven't bounced back from. Anybody else like that? I know I am. That's what I'm talking about. Am I right, folks? Hi-oh. And it's like this pain that, like you want to be around these people because you love them, but you look at them and you just like, you have no idea. We might be able to shake hands and look each other in the eye and nod and pretend that I'm the person that you loved, but I don't think the same. I don't feel the same. And, all these things that I used to care about. Like, God, I used to care about such ridiculous things. I used to go to the gym all the time. I was a fit pig, man. Let me tell you. And I would always work out and do the pre-workout stuff. And I had a personal trainer. I was there like 5 days a week. I was a regular. And then it was just like, you get locked up for 2 years, 9 months, and just basically solitary confinement with just a plant for company where the world burns and you're working the front line and your mind just like crumbles like a crouton. And then you're looking at everything, and it's just like you look at your wardrobe and you're like, this is all stupid. I hate this all. And you throw out most of your clothes and you buy clothes that fit you, that look right for you, that you're a pig man. You can't see what I'm wearing, but it's just blue jeans and plumber's shirts. That's right. I don't call them the other name because I think it's offensive. I ain't never hit no woman, and I ain't never hurt no kids neither. I just always tried to not to cause problems, but problems seem to find me wherever I go. People don't like me because I'm a pig man. I look ugly, and I think that's part of it. If I was attractive when I was younger, I was a very handsome pig, believe it or not. And I didn't realize it till I got older that I had coasted on my looks. It was so easy getting women, but it was always like, you get with them, and then suddenly they realize there's nothing in your head because you're, an autistic retard that just happened to luck out with the right face, and suddenly they don't want nothing to do with you. And yeah, that was hard, realizing that. And it's like, okay, I have no, what is it called now? They call it Riz, right? Yeah, Riz. That's what they call it, Riz. You got a charisma, apparently. And it's like, I don't even know what that is. It's a young man's game. At this point, I mean, if I can just try to find enough money so I can move away from everything, not have to think about the pandemic ever again, then I'll be a happy camper. But even then, I don't know. Because as happy as this little popsicle man on this can is and the smiling sun, I'm trying to be happy is hard sometimes, when it's like you're trying to make ends meet, trying to, do whatever it is that everybody expects you to do, be the person they want you to be, but you realize you don't even care to do that, like all my friends, they all have kids, and I think about that, and I'm like, I am so tired at my age. I don't know how any of them are doing that. Like, it's like, how do you have the energy to raise something, Sorry, just a grumpy old man talking, eh? Am I right, folks? Not many jokes. I guess I got some jokes, though. Because you're supposed to do, like, you talk about, relatable things about your life, and people just laugh spontaneously. That's what I've noticed with comics. Who's very funny that I like to watch? Okay, I'll tell you about comics I like. Liz Miele. I think that's how you say her name. Liz, Lizmiele. She is hilarious. Liz Miele. She's this, I think she's from New York or something, but she's hilarious. Wonderful. Very self-deprecating. Very relatable. Very funny. Wonderful woman. Hilarious. I laugh whenever I see her. I think she's just great. Who else do I like? Jeez. Obviously, Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, I think he's very funny. Oh, geez, who else? There's a lot of the nameless guys I grew up watching. I don't know who they are now because it was all Just for Laughs stuff. You know how Just for Laughs used to have like really low tier comedians coming on the show, and remember those days when it would be guys that talk kind of like me, and they'd have a puppet or they'd have some gimmick like a parrot, and they'd put on whatever kind of show, and it was kind of like some old weird dude that has no other place in society but being a jester. And I mean, it got its perks, I think one of the nice things is that, I can say things as they are. I don't have to lie. And one of the things with autism is I don't like lying anyways. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why would I say things are different than what they are? So it's a heck of a trip. Am I right, folks? All right, we're at our half hour mark. So that means it's time for me to break character. And Remind everybody that this is a comedy show. And part of the comedy is that there is no jokes and that it's not funny. And that I explain jokes and I do different voiceovers explaining jokes or talking about a show that doesn't exist. And it's a very specific brand of humor. And it's so unfunny that I actually explain that there is no jokes, and I explain why it's funny that there is no jokes, and I explain all these different things, and I miss it's like, like that's the joke. It's kind of hyper-reality comedy. That's kind of what I market it as. Because, like, if you listen to this, you're like, oh, is this real? Like, what is this? And that's the point. You're not supposed to know what this is. And I don't care that you don't know what this is. And no, I'm not going to explain it to you either. And it's full of contradictions, just like life. Oh, you're supposed to work hard and get a job and get an education and then buy into a system where you'll never own a house, ever. And you're never going to be able to get out of the, like you're in an economy that, oh yes, capitalism works so well that, like how many people on food stamps right now? Oh yeah, and our suicide rate is what? Oh yeah, capitalism's great though, Yeah, first world country, we've got all these neat toys, but nobody, like even with all the toys that people have right now, people still don't want to stick around. Isn't that a bit odd? And that is why this is the... Hey, Alexa, play the Communist anthem, please.
Communist Party Soviet Anthem in English by USA singer on Amazon Music.
There we go. That is why we have claimed this show for the motherland. That's right, comrades. This is now the Comrade Show, Comrade Pig Show. Because I am a communist pig. That's right. Because I don't care what you think, you apes. I don't care what you think. Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. Yeah, it's pretty funny, isn't it? Because that's the only system that works, right? Capitalism. Because communism doesn't work. Because it's never been tried authentically. That's what people would say. Here's the thing. It's all make-believe. It is. Communist, capitalist. These are just make-believe systems that we pretend are real things. Like, it's like my imaginary system is better than your imaginary system. That's how people debating about it sound like to me. It's like, here's the thing. Maybe we could just acknowledge that money and economy, they're all, like it's a made-up thing. Kind of like how, like when you play World of Warcraft, it's like... it's a made-up thing. Everybody's like, yeah, we're not in Azeroth. And the thing is, people think that the countries they're in are real. They're real. Like, they think the border is real, and they think the economy is real. It's like, no, man, these are, like, it's these are things that we've made up to help run a thing, a game, essentially. And the problem is, a few players have found exploits that lets them run and do whatever they want in the game. Now, rather than patching that out and stopping it, we have let the people that are exploiting the game run the game. And that doesn't make any sense. That's why politicians, it should be, you have to live in the same standard of living as your middle class. And all of your assets of your entire family get seized by the state. That's right. So it's a sumptuary law. So you cannot own more than a middle-class family if you are a if you are running, if you are in politics, if you're Congress, if you're president, it doesn't matter. You might have had a giant estate. Your father might have had a pony racing thing in Kentucky. Well, that's all gone now, and now the state owns it, and they redistribute all your wealth, and you get to play politics. And only people that are willing to sacrifice all of that meaningless, this meaningless affluence can get to run the country. That's my thing. And so that is called manifest democracy, because you vote with your dollars. That's right, folks. In the new system, in the new world, you literally vote with your dollars, and your interests are represented by corporations, entities without bodies that run the world. That's right, folks. I'm so funny. And people are going to be like, oh, that's actually a good idea. But you know what? I'd rather be a pig than a fascist. So any system's better than that. And I don't even believe in, there's the division. People are like, oh, communism, capitalism. I don't see a division. I don't. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's just about control. You've got a circle of control. On the bottom of the circle is one polarity, that's absolute anarchy. On the top of the circle is absolute authority. And then on either side is where you will temporarily see a difference in the two systems. One is collectivism, and one is, of course, individualism. And that's all it is. And it's just the battle between the state and the individual. And in some places, the individual becomes so powerful, they basically become a state, like we're seeing with our mega corporations and CEOs with a net worth greater than most countries. And then, of course, collectivism, where a state collects so much that, all the individuals in the entire country, nobody has anything compared to the state. And so that's all there is to it. There's no... The whole division isn't there. It's imaginary. It's about power and control. And politicians, their only role, get this, their only role is to stay in power. That's right. I'm channeling my George Carlin right now. Can you tell? And so they will lie, they will cheat, they'll do whatever it is, because their job is just to stay in power. It doesn't matter how they do it. And so if you believe that any of your politicians, that's why I believe some of my ideas, they would totally revolutionize things. Imagine if some of these millionaire, billionaire Congress people had to, if you want to stay in Congress, could give up every single asset that your family owns. Your entire family. Not just yours, though. Like the whole family's assets. So you got an Uncle Marty, he's rich, and you go into politics, Uncle Marty's assets are going to get seized. See how well that goes over at the next family reunion. Man, these carrots are pretty good. I think it's important to eat healthy snacks. So that's what I'm doing. And also, I like to remind people that everything is a scam now. No matter how endearing of a personality the people that you watch on your social media seems, they're just trying to sell you something. Whether it's a pre-workout, whether it's a whatever, it's just about sponsorship. It's just about getting money, because people worship money now, as you all know. And they're quite dumb for it. Just like the people that take my show seriously. Let's go through my mailbag. Let's see what complaints I've got in my inbox. Okay, dear Hamwise, you suck. Signed, Joey Buttafuoco. Okay, thanks, Joey. I know I suck, obviously. Why do you think I'm being produced by a label that nobody's ever heard of before, by a company that mostly sells hentai, right? Come on. Let me get with the program. Okay, what else we got in the mailbag? Dear Hamwise, Do you need help? Yes, and the only way you can help me is by handing over your wallets. No, there's no financial amount of money that can help me out of what I struggle with. I wish it was that easy. Imagine if it was that easy. I mean, money does help a lot. Like, I can't imagine what it would be like to have a house, like with a cat. I have a pet, like a real pet, not a plant. Like, that would just be so cool. Have another living thing in the house with you. I have so much money that Instagram models want to come over and walk around in their underwear around you. Have so much money that women don't recoil at you when you go into a room because you're broke and you're ugly. So you're literally like, it's kind of strange when I think about that. You know, like, I'm like, like, I am so low on the social hierarchy that, deadbeats that beat up their wives and their kids and all that stuff, they're married and have children, and I'm just like so ugly and so strange that, I'm untouched. I'm like a pariah socially. It's incredible. And, I used to play cards. And we had this guy who was, he got caught going to tried to pick up somebody at a elementary school because he was, one of those kinds. Yeah, pederast or whatever. Anyways, I found out he got a girlfriend just a little while ago. I'm like, hold on. So some guy, he's like, tries to, mac it up with like some 12-year-old, and he's like 30, and meanwhile I can't even get I can't get a girlfriend for the life of me. I ain't done nothing like that. It's bizarre. I get no respect around here though. I mean, you have to imagine that's how ugly I am. Like, imagine you're so ugly that when a girl's like, okay, I can go with the pig man who's a bit funny but a bit weird, or I can go with this guy that, got nabbed for, you know what. Like, what do you think? Like that doesn't do anything to somebody's self-esteem. It does. And I'm like, geez, I can't believe I'm this ugly. Like, I look in the mirror and it's like, I look like the ugly bastard from like hentai. I do. And if anybody saw me, that's why I don't post any pictures of myself, obviously. You'd be like, wow, that is one ugly man. Holy moly. Like I crack mirrors when I walk by them. And obviously, women, it's like I curdle their womb when they see me. I get stood up. Like, what an embarrassing thing for me. It's a funny thing when you get stood up. Because you go through all the stages of loss. At first, there is denial. Oh, they're just a bit late. Oh, they're going to be here soon. And next you go bargaining, you start texting them, hey, where are you? What's going on? Then you get anger. How could she? She wasn't that attractive anyways. I hated her. And then sadness. Oh my God, I'm never going to meet anybody. Ever. I'm going to die alone. And then acceptance. I'm going to die alone. Hi-oh. Yeah. But it's like, it's weird when you're kind of like, it's like, this is, maybe it's quite comfortable at rock bottom because at least there's not really, much farther to go unless you get a drill bit out and you really put an effort into screwing up your life further. I think that's kind of funny, It's like, so this is my resting spot. Hopefully things turn around. Hopefully some good things happen. But I ain't holding out for it. Folks, I'm just going to keep on making my broadcasts. Hopefully making a few of you laugh while we all go through this messed up time together. Because goodness, you got to make it out of badness. Because there isn't anything else you can make it out of. And that's Robert Penn Warren. And I mean, my life, obviously, gosh, If I could turn back time. And eventually that's all you can do is you look back in the past and you're like, because there's nothing new. How do you get over it? How do you get over it if you don't have anything new to get over it with? Like you go to the gym as much as you want, you get a personal trainer, you do all that stuff, you're still too ugly. You're still too ugly. You put a ton of effort. You try to be the best person you can be. You quit the sauce. No, I drink a few times a year. You turn it all around and it's still not good enough. And it's like, really? So, you screw up when you're 20, you drink too much, you do too many drugs. And that's it. You're just a write-off forever. Kind of funny, I don't, people like an underdog, but they hate an underpig. Or an unpig. Remember that episode? That was good. I'm an unpig. Yeah, I don't know. What time are we at? 46. Okay, we got a bit longer. It's kind of nice because I don't really listen to these after I record them. And I just kind of sit here munching away on carrots that have, they maybe, I think some of them are past due. They got this white stuff on them. But I lost most of my sense of taste to COVID. And I can't really tell if something tastes funny. It's kind of weird when you lose your sense of taste. I had no taste before, though. I liked anime. Am I right, folks? Hi-yo! Oh, man, anime is great, huh? I love that. You know why? Because, mainstream society cannot hack it. And so it's kind of like one of my last bastions. When I was growing up, Dungeons and Dragons was anathema. You could not do that without getting your ass kicked. Sorry to F and Jeff. But, then, now it's so popular. And it's like everybody can do it. Kids play it. I had to hide that. I had porno magazines and I had Dungeons and Dragons. I hid my D&D better than my porno mag growing up. I'm serious. Yeah, because it was like, if I found that, I would be dead. If they found the other thing, the whatever, what was it? A copy of Lesbo Heat, I think it was. They would have just shrugged their shoulders and say, well, a pig man's a pig man. And meanwhile, that D&D set, I hid that, and whenever my parents would go out, I'd pull it out, and I would imagine what it'd be like to have friends and play with them. But I didn't have many growing up. My parents were terrible, in case you didn't know. So one of the things they would do is if you came over to our house, because we lived on a farm, obviously, that's why the whole farm animal pig thing, get it? Never mind. If you came over, they would put you to work. And I never clued in why my friends always wanted me to go over to their house, because if they came over to mine, they would just put them to work. It was bizarre, and I thought it was normal that, if you just work all day. And so my friends would come over and they would just get put to work on the farm for the day. And they would it wasn't fun work either. It was like, you're weeding, rows and rows and rows of vegetables and, fixing fences and, flipping bales, because we couldn't, of course, afford a proper baler that spaced the bales. So you had to flip each one over by one space. Anybody else from a cheap farm, hobby farm like that? Just me? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so, anywho, that was that. And then I finally got to play D&D with my friends when I was in university. And that was some of the best years. I didn't realize those were really good years, And, I missed that a lot. And sometimes I tell myself I want to get back down there. I don't know how many of my friends are actually listening to this. Some of these messages, they're for my friends that I miss and love dearly. And I hope to come back down there someday and be around you guys. And it's just, it's hard to get back down and know that I'm going to come back and I'm not going to be the person you remember. And I worry about that. And then to my enemies that listen to this, that I hate you. And I will have revenge on you one day, and all that my rant from the other one. You can insert that right there. You can cut it and paste it or whatever you want with your Instagram. Anyways, where was I? What's up, Zach? Not a joke you should make a lot of the time. What's up, Doc? Oh, what's up, Doc? And up, Doc. What's up, Doc? Dog, Doc. Get it? It's funny. It looks like an orange Caran d'Ache, Little orange Caran d'Aches I'm eating. Caran d'Ache. Pretty close, actually. It's kind of funny. I don't know how to fill time for this. Jeez. I could put a warning in. Everything I say is a joke. My life's a joke, because I'm a joke. And I sometimes hope that there'll be a miracle, but I realize that there probably won't be. I think sometimes it's like entitlement is my biggest problem. I think that just because I went and I sacrificed so much during the pandemic, somehow I should, have things be easy on me. But you know what? Compared to after, the pandemic wasn't that hard. It was hard, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's when you feel like you're going nuts because you've been alone for so long and, but everybody moving on and being fine and you're still stuck is a lot harder, and your family doesn't understand you. Your friends, they try to, but it's you're not the same and you can't be the same and you try to be the same and it's kind of when you get a different voice actor to take over the role of the old one and everybody can just tell it's not you. That's how it feels. So sometimes I feel entitled, I guess. That I'd like things to be easier. That I'd like to have success and love. Maybe get to date again for more than just a month or two. It's weird when I think about it. I had one long-term relationship for about 2 years. Isn't that weird when you look back at your life and you realize how much of a loser you are? Oh, that's funny. It's geez. I didn't realize it. I'd always been a loser. And maybe I just didn't realize it. I didn't have the insight. And I realized that, I'm how retarded I am. I used to walk around with a Cookie Monster lunch bag everywhere. Along those lunch kits. I had one of those all the way up into my, I think, late 20s, maybe early 30s. I was still using that. I don't remember. It was strange. I was like, what? I walk around with a Cookie Monster lunch box? But I'm yeah, it was weird. And they're like, wow, I guess I am retarded. I can say the word I am. And that's the thing that pisses me off. Another thing. You know what I hate? Is people get on my ass when I say that, hey, retard. And it's you weren't in a special class growing up. You didn't get to sent to a special school. I can use that word. I've earned it. You haven't. You don't have the right. You don't have the right. You don't have the right. And you still don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. 5 people that played Dark Souls or Elden Ring are laughing right now. Hi. I don't know. I guess I could just finish my carrots. Just chew and eat. Chew the fat. Because let's face it, I'm just, I mean, I ran out of my material ages ago. I'm back to where I started. Improvising. Hi-oh. That's the real steel, isn't it? Huh? You keep on hoping for, hope is probably the worst curse of all. When they, Pandora's box, right? The girl, they say, don't open that thing. She opens the thing, and all the things fly out. And at the bottom, there's one thing left, and it's hope, and it's all the evils in the world. But hope is one of the evils, because it keeps you hanging on when there is none. When it's like, no, nobody's coming to rescue me. There's no cavalry coming. There's no success. And I get it. And people are like, be positive. It's the world you manifest. And it's like, the last time, I know I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again because it's hilarious. I'm at the conference, right at the start of the pandemic. And I tell my colleague, hey, this is going to blow over in a week and we're all going to laugh at how ridiculous we behaved. And it's funny because, before that, I had been really struggling, but I did a bunch of therapy. I did. I'd gotten better. I'd gotten so better. I was doing great. I was going to coffee shops and just hanging out in public, even though I look like a pig man. And, people look at me and go, oh, God, what is that thing? And, when women just blurt out that they have boyfriends, when you walk towards them, you know that you're ugly. It's like, geez, you don't have to do that. I know where I am in the dating hierarchy. I'm below people that go to elementary schools and beat their wives, and that's where I am. Because that's how ugly I am. Inside and out. Obviously. It's like, it's funny though. Because I have hope. So I still try sometimes. And I still struggle. And it's funny for everybody around me, I think. Everybody around me enjoys watching it. Because it's like, oh, look at the retard cry. Oh, look so, it's just hard. Sorry, I effed. I don't like to actually F. I did use an F-bomb, so I had to stop and go back. Because I don't like that kind of language, honestly. And I don't think it's, if you can't, finish a sentence without swearing, you're useless, F-bomb. The joke is that, but, I just don't. I don't like it. And I try not to do it. Because I find, you have to be more eloquent on how you insult people and yourself if you're not doing that. And, it's interesting, you go to school, you do all these things, you meet all these people. And, I mean, you maybe expect to have some really, really strong connections out of all that. And I have so few. And they're so distant. And it's kind of strange, when I look at my life, how alone I am, even now. The pandemic's over. And it's just, I don't know what to tell you, It's, doesn't stay dead, though. It just keeps coming back. Like reruns of MASH. I laugh because if I didn't laugh, I'd start to cry. Oh, look at me. I'm doing my sad clown thing. I don't care, though. I don't care what you think. I'm an ugly pig man. What are you going to say? I'm not funny? Yeah, I know I'm not funny. What are you going to say? I'm single? Yeah, darn right I am. I wouldn't want to insult a woman by thinking she'd bed down with a pig man. Yeah, I'm a loser, darn right. There has to be somebody on the bottom so somebody else can be on top, right? So, you know what? That is maybe my comic duty, to be the lowest one on the totem pole, the loser that everybody can point to and say, well, at least I'm not him. So you can thank me for providing Schweinhund. Get it? Schweinhund, because it's Hamwise. Schwein is pig in German. You see, this is why I need a studio audience, I'm really funny. A lot of the stuff I'm saying is hilarious, but you just can't tell it because there's no laugh track. But the thing with laugh tracks is that they're just trying to train psychopaths on how and when to laugh because they don't know how to take a joke. So that's why they're not good. Yeah. Anyways, what else can I make fun of? Self-awareness. I have no self-awareness. I'm like Michael Scott from The Office. Remember him? But like I'm like that, unself-aware. And but I don't get romantic interests like he does. Like, dang, Yeah, I don't know. Man. Sometimes I think about other people's lives and like all the connections they have with people. And it's like, I don't know. I have two friends that live down south. Another one out east. A few friends in town, but again, like they're friends, but they don't understand you. And how can they? You're a pig man. It's like Scooby-Doo, right? So, like they got the mystery wagon and they travel around solving mystery. That's kind of my friends, and I realize that I'm very lucky that I have a group of friends that are willing to travel around solving time travel pig-themed mysteries with me, because I basically, that's what I do, and not think it's weird or not comment on how nobody else has this job and somehow you're the only person doing this, which is kind of strange when I do think about it. Like, like what? I go around solving time travel pig pun themed mysteries when I'm not doing stuff on stage. Like that's a very strange line of work, and I say it out loud now and I'm like, geez, that is a bit odd. And so, but anyways, back to the point, like the thing is, like in the Scooby-Doo gang, you've got Shaggy and Velma, the blonde girl, and what's his name? The blonde dude too, or maybe the other one's a redhead. I don't remember. Anyways, they got the four humans and they got the dog. I'm kind of like the dog of the group, Yeah, one of them communicates a bit better with me than the others, and everybody else, it's like there's a giant pig. Imagine Scooby-Doo, but with a pig man, and then they're all everybody's of course Brazilian, because all my friends are Brazilians. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's maybe I'm actually in Brazil. That'd be a twist. I'm in a military prison in Brazil and I don't know it. No, that wouldn't make sense. It's a bit far-fetched. That's a bit Pikachu. I get it. Far-fetched Pikachu. No. Days, I'm useless without a studio audience. What am I saying? I'll tell you what, though. I tell you what. I don't know where else to go with this one. I'm just filling time now because I have to wait till the clock hits a certain time. So, we can read from the dummies of the week again, see what other emails I've gotten. Okay, here we go. Dear Hamwise, I find many of your jokes offensive, and I wish you would not be so hard on yourself. I'm sure you're a beautiful person inside. That's just what ugly people say to get by. You know, oh, you're beautiful inside. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about anything good that you've done either. They just care about how you look, how rich you are, and what people say about you. So, you know, you have a lot of people that say that you're awful. Then, well, that's your reputation, and you just get to have that because you're, you know, an idiot, obviously. It sucks being retarded. You know, and it's like, I know that everybody's just like, oh, yes, he's touched. But it's like, I still have feelings, even if I don't get to feel them there's maybe the same, or maybe they're confusing. But I still feel sad sometimes. A lot of the things I'm saying, like right now, I don't really feel anything about it. You know, maybe I'm just so numb because it's my daily reality. But I'm pretty sure most of the people listening, they wouldn't last like a month in my life. You know? They'd go squirrely if they had to, you know, like wake up, spend an hour curled in a ball, dealing with all the awful images in your head, go try to eat something, go to work solving pig-themed time travel mysteries with the mystery crew, or the wouldn't be the mystery wagon. Would be another word for mystery. Man, I need to do scripts again. I need to write down at least jot notes. This improv stuff is bush league. I just go in circles. Same as my life, though. I just go in circles. I just can't. I'm like a duck in a bucket. I just swim in circles. I can't get out of it. And, you know, it's like I need somebody to pull me out of it, but it's like there's nobody. I'm an adult. I should know what I'm doing, but I don't. I just am like this big kid pig man that doesn't know what he's doing and trying to get by and pretend that he does, because the few joys that are in life are, you know, video games, books, writing, doing comedy, and, you know, like I'm not so disabled that I need to be in a home, but God, sometimes I feel like I need some help or something, because it's like just doing things, like having to find a new place or something, it's hard. I don't know how to do it. I got my friends to help me find a place. And that's just the reality of, you know, my life, I guess. It's just, you know, get kicked around, led around by the nose, and you don't get anything right. You can't figure anything out. And everybody is in on the joke, except for you. And you just keep on wandering around, trying to figure out the joke, but you can't, because you don't have all the cards, you don't have all the pieces, the puzzle, or even the box to cheat off of, you know? So I think that's difficult to admit, that I really have no idea. And sometimes I think about, you know, what life would have been like for, like, you know, they talk about the multiverse, you know, there's all these different types of, all the iterations of your life, and it's like, am I just on the polar end, the polar opposite end? And there's another one out there, like Elon Musk levels of wealth, where I can't even fathom what it would be like to own a house, like have a house where I could decorate, I could put pictures up, maybe own a pet. Like that's just luxury beyond my wildest dreams, you know, or like have like somebody that loves me, you know, that spends time with me, wants to go places and do things, and not out of obligation, because, you know, they have to go and solve pig-themed mysteries, you know, but, you know, it is hard, because I am grateful sometimes that I know that I am caged, and it's because I lost it during the pandemic, and now I I live a life very different from everybody else's. I travel around solving pig-themed mysteries. Like time travel, pig-themed mysteries, because I'm a pig detective. And everybody in town is just like, yeah, that's the pig detective. And nobody ever contradicts it. It's like, yeah, that's the pig detective. Yeah, no, that's what the pig detective does. If you go to him with a pig-themed, a pig pun ham, like time travel mystery, something like that, then he solves your mysteries. And that's what I do. I work as a private eye where they set them all up, that the cases are all set up. And it's bizarre. I know this. I know it's all a sham, but it's like, well, at least I have a role to play, even if it's not a great one. A clown is still an important part of any theater production. Because when things get serious is because that's when the clown dies. Things are gonna get really bad, and that's when the clown dies. Remember that one movie? Anybody remember with the day the clown cried about the clown in the concentration camp? What was that? Was that Lenny Bruce? No, it was somebody else. It was the guy he did. Geez, I am going to be the worst old person. I'm just going to talk to people about old movies I watched. The generation before, they're going to be like, yes, I was storming the beaches of Normandy, where I was back in Nam, firing out of the Huey helicopter. And me, I'm going to be like, hey, what was it called? There was this show that it had a guy, and he was in a meme, and he sang that song. Nobody knew him his whole life. Edward Keel. There we go. It wasn't Kirill, it was Keel. He sang the Trollolo song. Remember the Trollolo? And it was so, it was because they couldn't get the rights for the lyrics or something. There was some issue with the lyrics and they couldn't get it. And so he just improvised. And he made this iconic, very melodic song. And he was rediscovered by the internet just before he died. He got to perform it for the whole world on New Year's Eve. That's really quite beautiful, And sometimes I think of that. I think of just happiness. The biggest thing, if I had a wish, because I think of all the suffering I've done, I should have like a wish accumulated. I think happiness, free for everybody, would be my wish. And nobody would be forgotten. Nobody would be, I think of all the great poets who never get a chance. All the great writers who never get a listen. All the great singers who never get a tune. And if I could, I would make sure everybody could get heard and seen and feel, good about what they create that's beautiful. And then everybody who makes things that are, well, like this, I don't know. I don't know what to make about this. I mean, part of it is I need to do something with all of this. Goodness, you got to make it into badness. Because there's nothing else you're going to make it out of. And it's like trying to make sense of things as I put myself back together. And that was kind of the premise of the show. We came up with it as the writer's room. And we decided, we were going to, hire the voice actor, and we would have like different parts like this where I break character, talk in third person, talk about the writer's room, talk about the creative process of making the Hamwise show, and how, we would include really soulful bits because it was in trend back then. So back, you have to get the landscape of the 2020s. It was quite different. So you're listening to this in the future. And so up until then, we were kind of, it was basically everything went downhill after Harambe got shot. And, it's like basically it just kept on getting stranger and stranger and weirder. And more people realized that all the news was actually generated by an AI. There were no actual celebrities. And that we were kind of like in this weird, like a ring world. Like not flat. Like the world isn't flat except on the sides, the North and South Pole. On the East and West, there's just more and more continents. We're just, beside each other. And so it's basically a big ring around the sun. And there's just tons. And Universal Pictures is just, they distribute to the different kind of islands or continental corners is what they're called. So a continental corner is like Africa, Asia, and Europe. That's a continental corner. Or North America and South America, that would be a continental corner. Australia and Antarctica, that would be a continental corner. And so all these corners are basically, you find out what the status is of that area, and you're basically, you're farming, humans and what have you, for entertainment and pleasure. It's like Westworld, basically, for aliens. And that's what you're living on. You're actually in a kind of a resort planet. Well, not a resort for you. You're staff at Disneyland, but actually more close to maybe the fish in the aquarium or in the diner where you pick out the fish you want to eat. And so that's kind of what this place is. The Egyptian hieroglyphs, the aliens got sloppy. They were like, we don't need to disguise ourselves. These people are Bronze Age. We don't need to, so that's a lot of the aliens. They look like that. And the whole Egyptian thing is they interbred with the Egyptian pharaohs. And those are the rulers even today. It's just these long hereditary lines that made kings' pacts, and that's why aliens aren't allowed to interfere. But the problem is a lot of these, the bloodlines are so diluted that they're going to make another visit soon. And so, our job as Men in Black was to go and plug leaks. And so, anyways, we get a call to go up to St. Paul in Canada, and I get captured. And now they're just sweating me down and keeping me drugged and hoping that I'll spill some secrets about how to make time machines and what have you. So I'm not, though. I'm hanging in the best I can. And hopefully you guys get this and can get me out of here, because I really don't like it. They shoved me into a pig man's body. I literally look like a pig man. Like, it's ridiculous. And when you do finally get here and get me out of here and get me back in my old body, I will be so grateful. But until then, I have to keep on hiding the transmissions in these ridiculous comedy albums. And that's the hardest part, is just coming up with random stuff so that no matter who intercepts the message, it's kind of like a game of tongues. They won't be able to tell which is the real one, because you're actually in the middle of an intergalactic war, and there are psychic parasites that infiltrate people's brains and take them over. And some people are immune and some people aren't. Now, I was infested with one of these psychic parasites when I was quite young, and unfortunately it wasn't detected till I was probably in my 20s. And so it's kind of like a goldfish, the psychic parasite. If you catch it early, you can remove it and stop it from kind of basically eating the original host alive. And so that's kind of what's happened, is I'm actually an alien, and I didn't realize it. And a lot of people like me, that they get told you're autistic or you're whatever, this or that. You're actually just an alien, and you're just getting farmed because you think differently. And these apes that we're surrounded by, they don't think like we do. They can't comprehend things. They can't make anything original. When people say, the pyramids were built by, it's like, no, they were. A human being just can copy stuff. That's all they can do. That's why there's no original ideas in Hollywood. If humans were so brilliant and able to do things, then why is it that you look at creatively, it took them how many thousand years to come up with a wheel? Round thing roll it took that long, or washing hands before touching wounds, is good. Maybe not handling a corpse and handling a baby, it causes crib death. And exactly, that's my point, is, humanity has always relied on being uplifted. And basically they're incapable of doing anything but being awful and isolating and harassing anything that's different than them. And we keep them around because mostly, like, we use them as shock troopers. All these, wars that, we, allegedly send people. It's actually, these are alien wars on foreign, different universes, different dimensions. And, we just send them back and debrief them and give them imagery that makes sense in their reality. But they know that, the thing is, like, when you experience the paranormal, you are now outside the normal to yourself. Like, you can't ever go back. Once Alice goes to Wonderland, she can never go back to being Alice, the girl. She's now Alice in Wonderland, or Through the Looking Glass, or whatever it was. By the same token, once the pawn crosses the board and becomes a queen, they don't move the same way, they don't see the same way, they don't have a perspective. And so many of you, that are going to listen to this, you're not going to understand any of the things I'm saying. You're not going to pick up on the subtext, and I don't care, because this isn't meant for you. If you don't get the message, it wasn't meant for you, so don't ask me what it means. Duh. And so, I had to really come up with a lot of wacky stuff. But I'm just trying to say hi. I existed. Whoever you are in the future. They're going to say whatever they're going to say about me. Who knows? Maybe I will be a revolutionary. Maybe I'll be a savior. Maybe I'll be a sinner. Who knows what I'll be? That'll be for somebody else to decide, because that's all it is. It's just people making up stories so the narrative makes sense, when all of it doesn't make sense. And you actually live in a version of spy versus spy, and you don't even realize it. And, it's going on all around you, a secret war being waged in the shadows, and you have no idea. Most people are going to listen to this and debunk it or say it's conspiracies or what have you, and I don't care. I don't need other people to believe me anymore. I don't want them to either, because you know what? You live in a wonderful world, and I hope you stay in it. I hope you never get to see the things that I've seen, so that, so to make you the way that I am. When I was young, I watched, remember X-Files? Remember that? Oh, that was good. X-Files was good. And it was always like, I never really understood Mulder and why he was so obsessed, until basically it's like you get snapped in the face of the paranormal, and suddenly, bye-bye Kansas. You're in Oz now. It's not Earth. Or Uz, and I'm Job. Maybe that's it. This is like a big cosmic joke, and God's floating up there, watching, saying, oh, let's see what he's going to do next. We're going to keep on taking things from Job. Because that's been my life. Didn't have a childhood, didn't really have an adulthood. You go and you become a man in black, and you realize that's what they raised you for, and it's like, oh, I was raised for this. I didn't actually have a choice. I never had a choice, and I thought I was making these decisions, not, just doing them, and then you realize, no, that's why, we had to take care of dead trees on that accursed gulag. You're watering dead trees every day. Like, how strange that is now that I say it. Or, hey, you're going to eat your pet rabbit. Like, kill and eat your pet rabbit. Like, I can't imagine any of my friends doing that to their kid. Like, they're, 8 years old. They go home one day. Germans are coming over. We're going to kill and eat your pet rabbit. Like, that's bizarre. And I realize now that, I was raised for this. I was made for this. And maybe it's because I'm not considered human, because I'm a alien mutant pig hybrid. And, like, it's just strange to say that all out loud and be like, yeah, that's my reality. Or is it? And that was part of the joke, is the whole Hamwise show was designed to be obtuse. And to be, what would we called it? It was called hyper-reality comedy. And we would cut it in, people talking about it in the past tense, future tense. And so we had different teams working on the same show with, different, voice actors. And we did find one that did majority of the voice. It was kind of like on The Simpsons. You had a Hank Azaria. He did like 90% of the voices for the first few seasons. And basically this one guy, he was really good. out of work voice actor, got canceled during, the whole COVID thing. And, he adopted this style that we thought was original. And when we hired him on, we had to understand that this was an original character. And then the Hamwise tapes came out. And we were kind of aghast that somebody had stolen this. And that the show had actually predicted that it would be stolen by somebody. And they even kind of played out the same, they laid out the playbook the person used, They used the tapes, they, practiced using them, doing the voices, and then, practiced using the bits, doing the kind of the very long flow. But the thing was they couldn't actually reproduce it because all the original shows, they were done in one take by one guy. And when they tried to get the imposters to do it, they couldn't. They couldn't go from topic to topic, flow to consciousness, and weave it all together. Because that was the big thing, was it looked like it was chaos, but it was all planned. And that was the hardest part, as being part of the writer's room. We had to make it look like it was improvised. And they kept on saying, it needs to look improvised. You need to make it sloppy. You need to make it sure it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, we're like, oh, but why? And it's like, well, don't ask questions. That's not your job. Your job is to write. And it was part of the whole time war, right? So during the time war, basically, you had to find ways you can't, because nobody can say what's actually happening. And unless it's so ridiculous that, if you say it out loud, what's actually happening, that, you'd get called a loon, and they'd stick you with needles and put you in an asylum. And of course, that had happened to the original character, right? The original guy. We'd find out we had gotten these tapes sold to us by a con man who claimed they were his, and he could do some of the voices, not all. We bought them because they were pirated, and he would go around touring under the name, pretending to be Hamwise. And the thing was, the real Hamwise was out there, and the guy had a stroke, actually. And it was during the pandemic that he had it. But the problem was he'd always been a bit of a jokester, so it was kind of like, I remember Sanford and Son? There was the dad who would always say, it's a big one. So the thing was, he didn't realize that he had actually had a stroke, and he would always make a joke of, oh, am I having a stroke or something? And the thing was, he had actually had one, and now people thought he was doing a bit, but he wasn't. So when he would walk around talking, acting, dressing as a pig man, people thought it was a bit, and it just went on for years. And he, would move around, and he always had a group of friends, kind of like the mystery wagon. They would drive around solving pig-themed mysteries. Of course, we have to change things because the original character that he would dress up as is like the estate sued the original tapes. We had to go back and dub over every instance of the original who it had happened, like who they dressed up as. But anybody, that watched the show and was from that time remembers Hamwise. And they were like, oh my gosh. So that wasn't a bit. He just didn't realize that he had a stroke. And, it was weird. And so I realized that I had this thing, this stroke during the pandemic. And it was like I was all alone to realize, oh, that's actually not normal to walk, act, dress like a pig man and travel around solving pig-themed mysteries. Like, that was so strange, And I remember when I realized it, that it's not about, like, the problem with stroke is it's about, like, the speech. You lose your speech and you can't say certain things, even if you try. And that was one of the weird things with the stroke. It's like when people were like, oh, well, he had a stroke. And it's like, no, but it's not just the stroke. Like, it's the emotion that is the biggest piece of having a stroke. And your emotions get messed up too. And so, like, it's like, imagine you're at a concert, you see Katy Perry, she's wonderful. Who doesn't love, oh no, who else do I love? Katy Perry, she's great. Oh, Taylor Swift, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Taylor Swift? One of my favorite anthems is Shake It Off. What a good tune. You cannot help but tap your feet to that. So good. Did Katy Perry do Dark Horse? That was good. I liked that. I also liked, Taylor Swift has so much good stuff, though. And also just a very, like from what I can see, I mean, everything is staged, right? So who knows what she's like, really. But, like she seems quite genuine. But, I mean, maybe she's a good actor like I am, right? Am I right, folks? Imagine that. That'd be hilarious if Taylor Swift and Hamwise J. Einschwein got married. Oh, that would be a sight to see. Oh, I'd be the happiest pig ever. Hi-oh. A billionaire, beautiful, intelligent starlet, and a pig. That would be a sight for sore eyes, wouldn't it? No. I wouldn't subject Taylor Swift to the pig man, because I am beyond any mortal woman's love. I am loved alone by my goddess Eris, the goddess of chaos. Yes, and she loves me, and that's maybe why my life is so. She has blessed me with loss and chaos and suffering and misery and strife. And that is the blessing of the goddess of chaos. So I am blessed most in her eyes. And so all you who pity me, know that I am blessed and loved by a goddess, the goddess of chaos. Discordia, arise. Anybody else was a teenage anarchist or part of the Church of Discordia? Anybody else here that know the super subnormality? Remember that? No? Jeez. It's kind of weird when you realize you were like in some kind of weird internet cult for a long time and nobody else was like into any of that. Like, bizarre, like black bloc, anarchist, golden apple, whatever. I like golden apples. Who else likes golden apples? I love golden apples. No, actually, I was kicked out of the anarchist group. I tried to join it in university. They had like those, like the different clubs, the politics clubs, and we had an anarchy club, and I joined it. I said, all right, when are we going to start spreading anarchy? And like, we don't actually spread anarchy here. We just talk about it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just talk about it. That's the point of an anarchist club. And like, no, we just talk about it. And they kicked me out. They said I was too extreme. Ugh, joy, I get no respect around here. Am I right, folks? And, geez, what time am I at? Okay, here we go. We're on the home stretch. Finally, holy moly. This has been a long episode, but now it's over. Be seeing you is what I would normally say, but bye-bye. Ta-ta. For now. Adieu to you and you. And so what I will do is I'm going to say goodbye to fill time and just say it in as many ways I can remember. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Wow, what a fart that is. Jeez, I farted. Ha. Fart jokes, Terrence and Philip. That's a good show. Remember Terrence and Philip? Remember South Park? Gosh, is that still running? I don't know. I only get reruns. Anyways, okay, here we go. It's almost time. Time to remember not to take anything I said seriously tonight, or you might be most on my most wanted list. Most wanted for being a dummy. Why-oh, oinkity, oink, oink, oink. I'm Hamwise, and I'm Honky. Remember Honky the elephant? Gosh, oh man, that was a good sketch. All right, be seeing you.